just wait a couple more minutes and allow people to arrive. All right, I will get underway so that we can stick to time. Cool, kia ora koutou. Thank you all for taking the time to attend this webinar today. The session will be recorded and we'll have time for questions at the end. Can everyone see the screen that I'm sharing? Can see the PowerPoint? Cool. So the aim of this session is to update you as members of the Upper Lakes community about your catchment action plan and provide information about forming a governance group to take that mahi forward. Ka mihi o ki mana whenua nai ngā kaitiaki o tēnei rohe. I'd like to acknowledge the role of mana whenua as kaitiaki of the Upper Lakes Rohe. And recognise the enduring relationship that mana whenua have with whakatipu, waifakata, wānaka, hāwea and their catchments. We value that partnership and the partnership with mana whenua that underpins this work. I will start us off with a short karakia. Tuia ki ranga, tuia ki raro, tuia ki waho, tuia ki roto, tuia ki te here tangata, ka rongo te pō, ka rongo te ao. Homie, huie, taikie.
Taikie.
And that means unite above, unite below, unite from outside, unite from within, unite to connect people. The night hears, the day hears, join all, bind all, let it be done, which is very appropriate for us all coming together from all over the Upper Lakes and us out here in Dunedin. So here we are, we have here in our team, we have Aaron here, who is our Catchment Action Analyst. He is our Master of GIS. And we have Jen online, I think, Project Delivery Specialist, and she is assigned for the delivery of the plan's actions. She's our Project Management Guru. Kia ora. I'm Renee, I'm the Catchment Action Planner, and the main part of my role is guiding groups through the planning process. I'd love to see who we have here today. If you'd like to pop your name and where you're from in the chat, and to spread some joy at this time of year, if you've got a recent win to celebrate, let us know about that too. So the Upper Lakes Catchment Action Plan was developed over the course of 6 workshops with 16 representatives from your community who wear many hats. We counted over 70 associations to groups and organisations, plus mana whenua representatives supported by Te Ao Marama and Okaha, QLDC and DOC staff and an ORC counsellor. This great bunch of people stuck with us through the whole planning process. They made connections with each other from both sides of the hill and contributed collectively over 800 hours of travel and workshopping. It was such a privilege to spend 12 months working with folks who do so much for their community. We might have a few of you online today, so if you're a part of that, please give us a thumbs up. The output from all of this work is a catchment action plan, and you can download the plan from our hub website, orc.govt.nz/upper-lakes, and Aaron, you might like to pop that link in the chat. And the catchment action plan is non-regulatory. It doesn't set rules or make limits. It focuses on the collective impact of voluntary contribution and working with the willing. It sets out 13 strategies co-developed with the community and gives a logical framework of what should we and could we do together to maintain or enhance the environment of your catchment. So groups might change and people might come and go. Local government might change, but the work that needs to happen to maintain or enhance the environment, the 13 logical strategies, hold true. So firstly, we acknowledge that there's a whole lot of great mahi already happening on the ground in your rohe, with really good progress already made. We're a bit late to the game in some ways. We aren't here to replace any of that, to compete with any of that, or to reinvent the wheel. It's all about supporting and boosting that work further. We have been quite careful to align the Catchment Action Plan and draw inspiration from other plans in your catchments. If you're familiar with documents like KLDC's Climate and Biodiversity Plan or Waiwanaka's Community Catchment Plan, you might actually feel a bit of deja vu when you read our plan. So the Catchment Action Plan covers the whole KLDC area, as you can see in this map. The actions that you can see here in this list range from foundations, like strengthening our mana whenua partnership, which supports all the other actions, to specific pressure reductions, like predator mammal control, restoration focuses such as wetlands, and preventions, such as pathway management of invasive freshwater organisms or freshwater biosecurity. I won't go any further into the plan details now because it is all available to download, but I'm happy to dig into it a bit at the end. So our Catchment Action Plan journey started in August 2024 and the workshops ran over the course of 12 months. If you head to our hub website, we have published a story map that tells you a bit more about the process and the people involved. In September this year, the plan was endorsed by ORC Council, which essentially means that we at ORC got the go-ahead to start aligning our work to the plan, to form a governance group, and to provide that group with facilitation and technical support. So where we are at now is forming that governance group. So this is to provide a strong community voice, make decisions about action delivery, and support the delivery of those actions. The format of this group would be flexible, and it would be up to those involved to decide exactly what it looks like. To give you a bit of an idea, based on the Catchment Action Plan that is a few steps ahead of us, the Catlins, that could be a group of 12 to 20 members, starting meetings in February 2026, with online and in-person options, and voluntary giving of your time. The members would not be paid. The group would be supported by a clear terms of reference, and we have a draft one available for download on our hub website now. An operational plan and a 1-year initial work plan, and we have a skeleton versions of that drafted, but we need your input to complete it. Also, they could choose their own name if Upper Lakes CAP Governance Group doesn't strike inspiration. Along the bottom of this diagram, we're acknowledging that while we have been doing this planning mahi, and for a long time before that, catchment and conservation groups have been in the thick of it, getting the traps out, planting the plants, and collaborating together. It's that momentum that we think needs to continue, and that mahi that we aim to support. So what would this governance group do? What would the role be? One of the first tasks will be to prioritise actions. This would be facilitated by our team and could involve some technical and scientific input where needed. Another role, and we know this is a big one, is to examine funding and look at how existing action could be boosted and sustained long term. Your community has people with great skills and exciting ideas in this area. The group would be supporting funding applications of existing groups and not competing for funds. And we have drafted that skeleton operation and work plans. So a role will be to co-develop these further. And probably the biggest role actually is to act as that connection with other groups to boost collaboration. This might simply come from the connections you already have, and it works two ways. We would like to provide technical, scientific, and GIS support to these groups, and we would like to know their progress, their roadblocks, and collect monitoring data. Now, a little visual of where this governance group would sit. There would be a core group of signed on members, so 12 to 20 people. And there's also a much wider community of people in the Rohe doing all sorts of mahi that aligns with these 13 strategies. So if being a full signed on member sounds like a bit much right now, we have another option. You can choose to sign up as a CAP community member, and you'll get invited to the governance group meetings and get sent the pānui, the outputs and the progress updates. You just wouldn't be part of the quorum and the final decision making, but you could join at any time. So a big focus here is that collaboration between the governance group and the wider community, along with connecting to monitoring of that work to inform the adaptive management of the Catchment Action Plan to tell us, are the actions working? What should we do more of and what should we adapt? ORC will provide facilitation of meetings and any workshopping required, technical support from our teams such as science, biosecurity and natural hazards, continuation of business as usual work and new work that aligns with the CAP where it can be provided by our work programs. Within the group, we will have one or more mana whenua representatives appointed with that really important partnership focus, and they will be supported by Te Ao Marama and Okaha. And we will be seeking members from QLDC, DOC and LINS. So this diagram is just an attempt to outline the potential makeup of that governance group, keeping in mind that we're flexible as to what the group looks like to suit the members' needs. So the details are, this proposed group would meet every 2 months with online and in-person options, so you don't necessarily have to travel to participate. There's 2 membership options, the governance group member, and they are part of the quorum and decision making, or the CAP community member, who can attend meetings, receive communications, but are not part of the quorum or final decision making. The draft terms of reference is on our hub website now, and there's an expression of interest form for either membership type, and you can fill that in now if you're keen or any time through to February. The group format and process is flexible, and the members themselves can decide how they want to run the group and how they make use of the facilitation and support from ORC. So that's the hub website there. That is the website address, and here you can dig into the membership form and the terms of reference. All right, so we have time for questions now. I'll just stop sharing that. Brilliant. So, do we have any questions to go? Yep, Bill?
Good afternoon. Kia ora. Hey, that was a fantastic overview. Well done again for all the work that's been invested in the space. Quick question, given that we've got some past and previous councillors online, what's the thoughts around political involvement? We will be taking the Catchment Action Plan to QRDC committees in the new year, which I'm looking forward to, but I'm just curious as to how we kind of frame up perhaps this governance group and any political or councillor involvement on it. Any thoughts?
That sounds like a question for you.
It doesn't it? Yeah. No, happy to make some recommendations.
Hey, Bill, thanks for throwing me in it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm keen to be involved. We have set up a portfolio system within ORC, and I am not involved with the official portfolio that's connected to this project. So I'll probably just need to touch base with them. But if I can personally be involved, then that'll be cool.
Yeah, well, it'd be fantastic to have you, Matt. And I might catch up with you offline, and we can have a little chat then about QRDC councillors as well, because I think there's going to be some quite strong interest on our side as well. So, cheers for that.
Who is the councillor looking after this area?
Sorry, I missed that.
It's not actually area based. It's more portfolio based in terms of the categories of work. And I knew you were going to ask me, and I actually can't remember. I'll let you know though. But I'm involved with passenger transport. So if you'd like to talk to me about public and active transport, then I'm meant to know stuff about that.
Thanks, Matt.
Hang on, I'll find it. It's in my collection of gajillion emails.
Great. Yeah, if you can check that. I'm not sure if it's published yet, so I don't want to say who I think it is. Do we have?
It is public. So it is
yeah.
public. So if you know Renee, then you should just say, well, I fart around on my emails.
I think we have Andrew Noon.
Yeah.
This one. And do we have Kate or do we have someone else?
No, it's Robbie Myers.
Robbie. Yeah, there we go. Robbie. Yeah.
Oh, do we have any other questions?
I'm happy to throw in a follow-up. Have you thought a little bit around maximum numbers as well? I don't know what your thoughts are, but we could easily almost have the entire working group become part of the governance group. So, and I know on our side too, with regards to representation from QRDC, so Tilly's interested, myself's interested, I could have a chat with Kat. So we just need to have a think about whether we have one representative on the governance group or whether there is enough space, I guess, for a larger group. But I'm just conscious of what the numbers could look like to make sure that the committee is well functioning and not too overburdened with too many people.
Yeah, definitely. So we recommend 12 to 20 people. And where organisations have several people, they might want to nominate one person to be that part of the quorum. And we do have some wording in the terms of reference around the chairperson seeking support if it was to grow too big. Julie.
Yeah, I just wanted to say on that topic of managing the numbers, my particular interest in being involved would be to help on the funding side. So, is there a way to sort of spin off a group to specifically focus on funding, and tackling that burden, that very, very complicated exercise, to sort of so people like me that want to be focusing on funding can do so.
Yes, and there is a possibility. So for the governance group that we have at the moment in the Catlins, they have formed project groups which each have a focus. So people that are only involved in, say, predator control are in that project focus group, but they might not be attending when we're talking about coastal dunes or something. So when we do hold the first governance group meeting and elect a chairperson, we'll be able to talk about what sort of format we want to form. And it needs to be something that works for the Rohe, and so it can be different in each place throughout Otago.
Great, thanks.
Ben, and then Kat.
Thanks, Renee. Hey, I'm just wondering in terms of membership for this governance group, is it going to be, we've identified some organisations as such to be involved, but do we have any specific roles that people would need to play, such as their expertise in the form of scientists and or economists and or things like that to help facilitate that conversation as opposed to representing their company or their organisation?
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like a really practical idea, and again, we can talk about what the format looks like. Currently, there's not designated experiences or knowledges, but we have done a stock take over the actions that we've got at the end of the plan. So we do have an idea about sort of who we might need. And they might not necessarily be a signed on member of the group. They might be someone that we call in to give us information. So that's where it would be great to be able to draw on that pool of experts that you do have in the Upper Lakes area and from ORC, of course, as well.
Cool. I think just from my 2 cents would be, it would be quite useful to have someone that sits on the technical advisory group for the Deep Lakes. It would be suitable. I think it would be suitable to have representation from them in the group. just to help
Definitely.
facilitate that communication between those two groups.
Yeah, I think we've got this giant Venn diagram of everyone crossing over, and we need that hit that spot in the middle.
Cool. Cheers.
Kat?
Thanks, Renee. Just you mentioned a couple of times around, might be getting to the detail, but collecting monitoring data.
Mm-hmm.
What is the mechanism and what's the sort of platform for that capture?
Yeah, so we will be using our GIS system to do that. And what we want to do is not burden people with additional monitoring needs, but where people are using existing apps and platforms like TrapNZ, or even accessing citizen science information or stuff from iNaturalist, we have the ability to draw a lot of data in via an API or an automatic call that happens in the background. So we can display a lot of different data sources on a one-stop map. We can also, where people aren't already set up for doing their monitoring, but they want to do some monitoring, we can set up custom forms so that they can go in and type it in, and then that gives them a tidy spreadsheet for their own uses, and that also shows their information on the maps and dashboards as well. That is the plan.
I'm interested just to make sure that, like, if there's specific methodologies for collecting the data as well, making sure that everyone's on the same page in that respect, rather than having different approaches. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do at ORC have our citizen science assessment, which hasn't gone to council yet. But also with one of the actions from the plan is to provide some of that continuity and make sure everything lines up there. And we've definitely got people here that know how to do that. It's just a matter of connecting everyone.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions?
What, just Renee from me, are there integrated catchment management plans that are going to be happening across the region, and your involvement, you're going to be across the other stuff that's going on? Maybe just explain that to everybody.
Yeah, definitely. So going forward, we have Jen here, our project delivery specialist, and so you'll all be hearing more from her and a little bit less from me, but I'll be involved with the governance group. And I will be also working on the Tidy Catchment Action Plan. We're actually doing our meet and greet with them next week and kicking off in February. And so I'll be doing that, half that and half Upper Lakes. We are still doing wall-to-wall caps throughout Otago, and we don't know which one comes after the Tairi yet. But we will be taking that to council eventually. Great. Any last minute tricky questions? Cool. I will just close us off with a karakia. Kia tau te rangamarie, kia ranga I ngā iwi o te ao. Let peace reign on all people of the world, which I believe we all need. Great, thank you. So I am going to follow up with an email with all of this information bundled together, and feel free to use that meeting chat if you want to connect with someone.
Renee.
Thank you
Thanks very much.
so much for attending. I really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Renee. Kia ora.
Thanks, Renee. Thanks,
Bye.
Renee.
Thanks, Renee.
Thank you.
Kia ora.
Yes.
Mhm.